Mountain Mom with Family Lifestyle. Today I'm attempting to make a Lego head cake for my grandson's birthday. And not just a Lego head cake, but it has to look like Emmet. So what I've done so far is I've used 4 9-inch cake layers, and the bottom layer I turned upside down so that it would fit nicely on the plate. And then I iced it. The second layer I cut off the dome so it would be nice and flat. The third layer I cut off the dome so it would be flat. The fourth layer I cut in half and I left the dome on, and I felt like I didn't have enough roundedness for the head, so I used the top 2 domes that I had previously cut off from the second and third layers and I placed those on top, and I ended up with a nice rounded dome. So now all I have to do is ice it and then roll out the fondant, and then we'll come back. And I just want to add, from those 4 9-inch cake layers, all I have left is the bottom half of one of those layers. So as you can see, I base iced this cake, and I wasn't too worried about crumbs because it's going to have a layer of fondant over it. So it's nicely iced, and I smoothed it out as much as I could. And I want to add, this is my first time using fondant, so I'm learning as I go. And I do have some experience as a cake decorator. I would say I'm about an intermediate level. I got my fondant all rolled out. It was a workout. This used almost 3 24-ounce packages. I needed to make it 18 inches wide in a circle because there's 5 inches on each side and 8 inches across the top. That means 18 inches. This was just big enough to get it to 18 inches. And now this is the scary part. I'm going to attempt to get this on here. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. I got it all on. My cake did become a little misshapen, and I'm wondering if maybe I should have put it in the refrigerator for a couple hours and let it set up before I put the fondant on. But and I did try to reshape it, and it does move a little bit, so I hope the whole thing doesn't collapse. But I think it's going to be okay, because once I get his hair and his face on, I think that's going to kind of camouflage it. So the next part's going to be the fun part, putting on the face and hair. I decided to make this the front, and I put that there to mark it for me as I'm working on the camera. And I want to do the hair first, and I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do it. I've been looking at pictures. I think I'm going to use this plate to kind of guide me. It makes a nice round cut, and then the sides, I don't know. Maybe I need a bigger plate to mark the sides. Let's see what I have. Yeah, that might work. So his hair, he's got a hairline here, and then it comes down. So that's what I'm trying to mimic with this shape. Let me just cut off my ends here. Alrighty, so I think I got his hair on how it needs to be. And his head is looking a little short and fat to me. I don't think I would do this again, but anyway, it's turning out at least decent. So I'm going to use a knife and I'm going to put some texture into his hair because, yeah, he looks like he's got some texture in his hair. I'm wiggling the knife back and forth just to open this up a little bit. Alright, so I got those lines in his hair, and then I cut out 3 little shapes and kind of squeezed them together. And I'm going to use that. It looks like on the back of his head he's got some little alfalfa sprouts coming out. So I'm going to put some water on here. It's not too much. Might be a little bit too much. Let me get a paper towel. Okay, and then right on the corner, okay, now we get to work on the face. I bought this set of templates and they're the wrong size for the eyes. This is too small and this is too big, so I found one of my cake decorating tips and I'm just going to use that to, this is kind of sticking, I didn't put down my powdered sugar. Okay, so that's just a little bit too thick. Roll it out a little bit more. Alright, now I'm going to cut out 2 eyes. Okay, those are the eyes. His face. Smile. That's too much. Doesn't take much water. I definitely don't want it to bleed. Okay, it's just a tiny bit of water. That's too much. Straight on to see if that's I don't want to slide it because then it's leaving black marks if I do that, so I'm going to leave it right where it is, even though I would have adjusted it if I could have. Okay, now I'm going to work on his mouth. So I just kept working on this smile and working on it till I cut it down, and I feel like that's finally at the right size. And now I just need to work on the teeth. Alrighty, so I have my black smile, and then I cut out the teeth, and they're going to go up here. And I'm just going to wet and attach it and then let it dry before I put it on there so it sticks nice. Don't need a lot. Don't want too much because I don't want it to run. And I'm going to let my smile dry, and then I'm going to come back and put it on Emmet. So the smile has had time to dry, and now I'm just going to put him on the face, and I think I want it to go like that. I don't want the ends to run or bleed, so I want to make sure I don't have too much water on the end. Okay. And then I got to turn this towards me. And I'm just holding it there because I don't want it to slide. So I'm going to hold it here for maybe 60 seconds. And actually I'm putting my fingernail prints in the teeth and I don't want to do that. Yeah, I'm afraid to let go. So this is what it looks like. I'm gonna actually find something to rest in there so it doesn't slide while it's drying. So I put a pen underneath his smile to hold it in place, and just in that short amount of time that I went up to get the pen, it had slid down. So I really needed to have that there to make sure that dries into place. And actually, I might even keep it there until I get it out of the freezer, which now I have to find something to cover this with, although I think I could cover it with saran wrap and that'll be okay. A couple of things. I am pleased the way this turned out. I think it was a valiant effort for my first time working with fondant, and I think the boys are really gonna like it, and that's what matters. I think if I was doing it again, it's a little off on the proportion side. I would have used that 1/4 half of a cake to make it taller. So I think it could have used 4 9-inch round pans, or maybe if I had made 8-inch pans, 8-inch cake pans, that would have worked too. I don't think I needed to buy this thing. I didn't need that at all. This cake was very expensive, but now I have all the supplies, so maybe now I'll learn to work with fondant a little more. This was a fun cake to make. It was a little scary, a little stressful. I think I need some shopping therapy. I'm gonna head over to the Dillard's clearance store and just zone out there for a little while. But I am pleased, and I think the boys are really gonna like it.